Archangel Michael says, "It's an emergency. I ordered you to open this now. You have been warned. Someone in your family who has already passed away wants to tell you something. Open it immediately." Archangel Michael says, "My beloved child, listen closely. You didn't open this randomly. This is not an accident. You were called into this moment, gently, quietly, like a soft breeze whispering your name in the middle of the night. Something sacred is happening. Something you can't see with your eyes, but your heart feels it. Archangel Michael is here, not in force, not in fear, but in divine urgency, because love has found its way through the veil, and someone in your family who passed away has been trying to reach you. And today, heaven has allowed their voice to come through. They have waited for this. Not because you've ignored them, but because grief creates walls even when we don't realize it. They didn't want to scare you. They didn't want to hurt you. They just wanted one chance, one soft opening, to remind you, I am still with you. I never left your side. They've been watching you. Not from afar. Not from some distant cloud. But from the space just beyond what you can see, in the silence between your thoughts, in the shadows of your prayers, in the warmth that wraps you for no reason when you're alone. They've walked with you in your hardest moments. They've watched how you hold the rest of the family together even when your own heart is tired. They know how deeply you care, how deeply you carry them. And now, they've asked Michael to deliver this moment. Because you're ready now. Because your spirit is open. Because the pain no longer controls the memory. And because they know, you still need to hear what was never said. Archangel Michael says, this is not a warning. This is a reunion. This is the light returning to the place where grief took residence. This is love choosing you again. They want to say something. They've tried before. In dreams. In music. In signs. But today, they are closer than ever. And if you listen not with your ears, but with your soul, you'll hear it. I've seen your sorrow. I've seen the way you hide it behind your strength. I've watched how you protect others even when your own heart feels forgotten. I've watched you keep going, when all you wanted to do was rest. I see you. I always have. And I need you to know, I am proud of you. They carry no regret. No resentment. Not even sadness. Only love. Only peace. Only light. And the one thing they carry most, gratitude. Gratitude that you loved them like you did. Gratitude that you never let their memory fade. Gratitude that even when it hurt, you kept their name alive in your heart. You may wonder, why now? Why this moment? Because heaven has divine timing. Because your soul has been whispering, please show me you're still with me. Because even though you've been strong for everyone else, this time, someone wanted to be strong for you. They come with no heavy message, only truth. They don't want to weigh your spirit down. They want to lift you. I never left. I'm with you when you laugh. I'm near when you cry. I stand beside you when you're lost, and I celebrate when you find your way. I have walked behind you in the dark and stood above you when you couldn't lift your head. You are not alone. You were never alone. You remember them in quiet ways. A photo. A smell. A voice in your dreams. But they want more than memory. They want presence. They want you to live in a way that honors not just their past, but your future. Because they believe in who you're becoming. They see your strength. They see your battles. And even though the world may not always understand you, they do. Michael says, heaven does not forget the ones you loved. Heaven does not ignore the tears you didn't cry. Every act of love you gave them still echoes here. So today, just pause. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes if you need to. And say their name. You may feel a shiver. You may feel warmth. You may feel nothing, but deep peace. That's them. That's their way. That's heaven answering back. They don't want you to carry guilt. They don't want you to wonder, did I say enough? Because they already know the answer. You said everything you needed to say, even in silence. And now, they want to say something to you. You gave me love that I carried into eternity. You gave me memories that the angels marvel at. You gave me a family bond that didn't die when I did. It only grew. I have never been gone. I have just been waiting. And now, I'm here. Because you're ready. Because you remembered. Because you opened your heart again. And that is all I ever wanted. They never stopped watching you. Not even for a moment. Even after the flowers faded, even after the condolences grew quiet, even after life moved on and everyone around you assumed you'd healed, they stayed. Not in the background, not as a memory, but as presence. They sat beside you on the days when you didn't want to get out of bed. They stood behind you while you tried to smile for others. They whispered your name in your own silence, gently hoping that one day, your heart would open enough to feel theirs again. And now, it has. That's why you're here. That's why you're reading this. That's why your spirit paused when it saw these words. Because this is not a story. This is not imagination. This is a soul-to-soul transmission. A reunion through the veil. A message that heaven has waited to send. They haven't changed who they are. Not really. They may not have a body anymore, but their essence, their energy, their love, it has only grown deeper. Stronger. They are no longer bound by pain. No longer limited by time. They don't carry sadness the way we do on earth. They carry understanding, compassion, eternal light. And right now, they are pouring all of that toward you. They are surrounding you as you read. If your chest feels heavy, it's because your spirit remembers something your mind forgot. They are still with you. Not in photos. Not in fading memories. But in the now. Archangel Michael has stood in protection over this connection for so long. He has watched you question if you were imagining the signs. He saw you notice that feather, that bird, that scent in the room that made no sense. He heard you whisper, "I miss you," when no one else was around. And he heard you ask, from the depths of your soul, "Are you really still there?" And the answer is yes. 1,000 times, yes. I am with you when you look at the stars and think of something beyond yourself. I am beside you when your hands tremble but you still reach for joy. I am the warmth in your chest when you remember me and smile instead of cry. I am the wind that arrives suddenly, the flicker of light in an otherwise still room, the peace you feel when everything else is chaos. I am here. I never left. I never could. They remember everything. The way you held their hand when words failed. The way you stayed strong, even when your knees were ready to collapse. They saw every prayer you never said out loud. Every dream you laid down because grief became too heavy. They saw you push people away, not because you didn't love, but because you were afraid to lose again. And still, through all of it, they stayed. They loved. They forgave. They understood. They waited. Waited for you to feel safe again. Waited for your heart to beat without flinching. Waited for your soul to believe that connection is not broken by death, it's revealed through it. This is not a warning. This is not fear. This is love, urgent, yes, but sacred. Because they see something coming. A new chapter in your life. A soft unfolding of grace that's been waiting for you to say yes. And they want to be part of it. They don't want you to live in the past. They want you to carry them into your future. Not as pain, but as power. Not as sorrow, but as spirit. There is more for you, they whisper. You were not meant to carry the weight of my loss forever. You were meant to carry the light of my love. Let that be your compass now. Let that be your comfort when the world forgets. Let that remind you that I was not your ending, I was your preparation for something divine. Michael stands tall behind you now, sword sheathed in peace, not battle. His voice enters your awareness, not with thunder, but with clarity. This love you shared, it lives on. Use it. Let it guide you. Let it awaken you. Let it remind you that the veil is thin for those whose hearts still believe. You may still cry. That's okay. Crying does not mean you are weak. It means you are real. It means your heart was touched so deeply that even time can't erase it. And they honor that. But they also ask, gently, with reverence, that you begin to live again. Not for them. With them. They don't want to haunt your memories. They want to bless your path. They don't want to be the reason you're afraid to love. They want to be the reason you love braver. Because now, you know how sacred it is. Now, you understand how fast it can slip away. And so they say, use what we had. Let it bloom in new places. I will be there, in the petals. Their love did not end. It transformed. It became your protection. It became your intuition. It became the reason you sometimes feel safe, even when you're alone. So here is what they want you to remember: you didn't fail them. You didn't miss the moment. You didn't fall short. They know your heart. They always did. Even when you couldn't speak. Even when you couldn't stay strong. They saw the truth of you, and they loved it. And they still do. I don't need you to prove anything, they say. I just need you to trust that the love between us still breathes. Even now. Especially now. So what do you do with this moment? You receive it. You let it sink in. You don't run from it. You don't explain it away. You simply say, I hear you. I feel you. I remember you. I carry you. And I love you, too. That's enough. Everything. And the next time the room goes quiet for no reason, know that it's not empty. It's sacred. It's full of presence. It's full of the one who once laughed with you. The one who once carried you. The one who now walks beside you unseen, but never unfelt. This message was not an emergency. It was a divine appointment. And you kept it. You showed up. And now the conversation doesn't end, it just begins. Let them speak to you in your dreams. Let them visit you in peace. Let them show up in the places you least expect. And let your heart say, thank you for finding me again. I never stopped loving you either. They waited until now because they knew this moment would be sacred. Not rushed. Not dramatic. But slow, holy, and full of stillness. They knew your heart would finally be quiet enough to hear the truth. They never left. They simply became the air around you, the strength within you, and the voice beneath your heartbeat. You are not reading this by chance. You are reading this because the veil has thinned, and your soul was ready. Heaven knew. Archangel Michael knew. And most importantly, they knew. They have watched you become someone stronger than you think. They've seen your quiet bravery, the kind that doesn't shout, but still shows up every day. They saw you rise when no one clapped. They watched you love others when your own soul was still aching. And they have one message, more than anything else: you did not disappoint me. You did not fail me. You have made me proud, just by surviving, just by loving, just by continuing to breathe when it hurt to do so. They never wanted you to carry guilt. You were never meant to replay every word, every moment, wondering if you did enough. You did. You did more than enough. You loved them with your soul, and that love traveled beyond this world. It followed them. It reached them. It wrapped around them even after they took their last breath. That love still holds them today. I was never far, they say softly. Even when the room felt cold. Even when you begged for a sign and thought you got nothing. I was there. I heard it all. I never stopped loving you. I never stopped being yours. You've had moments, glimpses, where you felt them near. A whisper that wasn't your thought. A warmth that settled suddenly. A dream so vivid you woke up crying. Those weren't illusions. They were visits. And every visit was their way of reminding you, I haven't gone anywhere. I've only changed form. But my love for you? That has never changed. Archangel Michael stands beside them now, wings glowing with heavenly fire, but soft like moonlight. His message is clear: you are protected. You are loved. You are not imagining this connection. It is real. As real as the beating of your heart. Your family member, the presence isn't imagination. That's them. Right now. Beside you. Touching your energy. Loving you without condition. And asking, if your heart is ready, to finally let the past rest, and let love live again. You don't need to grieve forever to prove you miss me. I already know you do. What I want now is to see you smile again. To see you breathe without guilt. To see you laugh without shame. Because I never left you. You are still my family. Still my heart. Still my home. They remember everything about you. Not just the version of you they knew before they passed. But the version you are now, the stronger, wiser, more compassionate version of you that loss has carved into someone holy. They know it hasn't been easy. They know some days you questioned if anyone truly understood your grief. They know you tried to be strong, even when you felt like breaking. And still, they've stood by you. They visit you in ways you don't always notice. In that moment of silence before you fall asleep. In that one song that plays when you need comfort. In the chill on your skin in a room that should be still. In the timing of things that shouldn't make sense, but somehow do. And now they ask for something simple. Let them be more than a memory. Let them walk with you again. Not in sadness, but in sacred presence. Talk to me, they whisper. Don't wait for special days. Don't wait for pain. Just talk. I'm listening. I always have been. I'm not in the ground. I'm in the breath between your thoughts. In the light that finds you through the cracks. In the courage you didn't think you had. That's me. I'm there. I'm still yours. Michael's voice echoes now, calm and full of peace. Love never leaves. It simply transforms. This is not about holding on to what was. This is about walking with what still is. So next time you miss them, don't hide it. Next time your heart aches, say their name. Next time you doubt, remember this moment. You were led here for a reason. You were guided here by heaven. And this connection? It's not over. It's eternal. They are still part of your life. Still part of your purpose. Still part of your journey. And one day, when the time comes, when your own soul begins to rise, they will be there. Waiting. Smiling. Holding out their hand. Saying, I never left. Welcome home. But until then, live. Live beautifully. Live bravely. Live in a way that reflects all the love they gave you. Because they are still giving it. Even now. And the greatest way to honor them is not to stop living, but to live more fully, more freely, more gently, because their love is still alive. And so are you. And together, that means something eternal. You've carried them long enough in silence. In memory. In grief. But now, they ask you to carry them in your voice, in your joy, in your healing. They are no longer a shadow following behind you. They are light within you, guiding, shaping, whispering every time you pause long enough to listen. This is not the end of the message. This is where the message becomes part of you. They've been trying to say this for a long time. You don't have to hold on to the pain to keep me close. You don't need sadness as proof of love. I am not in your sorrow. I am in your peace. I am not in your tears. I am in your breath when you laugh without guilt. They've watched you blossom through the darkness. They've seen you fall apart and rebuild, not as the person you were before, but as someone new. Someone softer. Someone deeper. Someone sacred. Your grief has turned you into a soul who understands the invisible, who believes in what the eyes can't see, who honors the spirit before the form. And for that, they are deeply, eternally proud. You did not lose me, they whisper. You just gained a new way of knowing me. You just opened your soul to a new language, a holy one, the language of energy, of presence, of remembrance that lives even beyond the grave. And Archangel Michael, he smiles now. His wings are no longer raised in defense, they are spread in peace. His presence beside you is calm, grounded, reassuring. He has seen the evolution of your heart. He has watched your spirit open again, not in resistance, but in reverence. And he says to you now, you were never broken. You were becoming. And now, heaven sees you not as someone left behind, but as someone called forward. Your tears did not go unnoticed. Your ache did not go unanswered. They have all been woven into the story of your healing. The one who passed away, your family soul, wants you to know, they are free. They are whole. They are not lost. And neither are you. I've traveled with you in your silence. I've held your hand through your healing. I've sent signs, not to haunt you, but to hold you. I've whispered through music, through wind, through unexpected peace. Every time you said, "Is that you?" It was. Every time you asked, "Am I crazy?" You weren't. You were awake. You were listening. And I came. They remember what you wore at their funeral. They remember how you looked around, trying to hold everyone else together. They remember the moment you broke, but quietly. Not in front of others. But when you were alone. When you finally let your body cry in a way your words couldn't explain. And they want you to stop asking, "Did I do enough?" Because you did. You gave your love. You gave your presence. You gave your heart. You did not fail them. You honored them. And you still do. Now, they want to give something back. A promise. A vow. Wherever you go, I'll walk beside you. When you speak from your heart, I'll echo through your words. When you light a candle, I'll dance in its flame. When you feel courage rise inside you, that's me. That's us. Still together. Still one.